Welcome. Thank you for coming today. My name is Brooke. Today we will be working through a power yoga flow. So it's great for all levels, wherever you're at. We are going to go ahead and get started. So if you need to grab a mat or change into comfortable clothes, please do so, and we'll get started. So walking to the top of our mat, we'll get started with a nice flow here. So sweep those arms overhead. And then exhale, flat back long arms. Coming to that forward fold. Inhale here. Exhale, halfway lift. Finding length through your spine. Pull your abdominals in. Inhale here. Exhale, forward fold. We're going to plant our hands and step back into our plank. And from here, we're going to press back into our downward dog. We'll look at our hands and we'll hop or step forward. Going through that series again. Big inhale here. Exhale, halfway lift. Inhale here. Exhale, forward fold. Plant our hands and hop or step back into that plank. And then press back into our downward dog. Look at your hands. Hop or step forward. Finding that forward fold one more time. Inhale here. Exhale, halfway lift. Inhale here, exhale, forward fold. Plant your hands and hop or step back into your plank. From here, shift your hips up and back into that downward dog. From here, we're going to sink back into our plank. And then from here, we'll come back to our downward dog, where we'll take our right hand for our left toe. Then we'll come back to our plank. Then we'll come back to that downward dog, left hand to right foot, back to plank. We'll do that 2 more times. So we come back to downward dog, right hand to left foot, back to plank. Downward dog, left hand to right foot, back to center. Inhale here, press up, right hand to left foot, back to center, back up, left hand to right foot. And now we're going to hold our plank here for 2 breaths and 1 more breath. And then we can press back in that downward dog and start to pedal our feet out 2 more times each way. And then we're going to start to move our hips from side to side, opening up that side body. 3 more each way. And 1 more each way. And back to our downward dog. Take a couple breaths here. Find more length through your spine. Evenly press through all 10 fingers. Press that chest closer to your thighs. Pull your belly button in and let your heels become heavy. Look at those hands and hop or step forward, coming to that forward fold. Big inhale here. Exhale. Find that forward fold for 3 breaths. And 1 more breath. We plant our hands and this time we jump back. We jump back into that plank. We might need to make a couple adjustments. That's okay. Big inhale here. Exhale, we lower halfway. Untuck those toes. Press up into that upward dog. Pull those abdominals in. And then back into that downward dog. Lift that right leg high. Look at your hands. Bring it all the way through. Pivot on that back foot. Come into a warrior 2. We cartwheel our arms up. My right foot is in line with my left arch. My gaze is over that right middle finger. My arms are actively reaching. 3 more breaths here. 1 more breath. And then we'll cartwheel those arms down. We'll plant our hands, step back. And this time, instead of a chaturanga, we're going to shift our hips up and back. Left hand reaches for those right toes. And then we find our plank. Then we shift our hips back. Right hand finds those left toes. Back to plank. 2 more times. We press up into that downward dog. Left hand, right toes. Back to plank. And then right hand, left toes. 1 more time. Press up and back. Back to plank. Last time, last side. And then back to plank. And now, instead of a chaturanga, we did that so we can press back and down into that downward dog. Take 2 breaths here. Lift that left leg high. Look at your hands. Bring it all the way through. Pivot on that back foot. Cartwheel those arms up. We're coming to warrior two here. Actively reach those arms, pull those abdominals and bend through that front knee. Find length through that back leg. Now we cartwheel our arms down and we're going to step back into that plank. We're going to take ourselves through chaturanga, lower halfway. Untuck those toes and press yourself up and back into your upward dog. And then shift back into your downward dog. We'll take that right leg high again. Hold it here, 3-leg dog. One more breath. Look at your hands, bring it all the way through. We're going to come to that high lunge so we find length through our back leg. We bend through our front knee, make sure our ankle is in line with our knee. And we sweep our arms overhead. Big inhale and big reach here. And then exhale, hands to heart center. We're going to come to our lunge so we start to tilt our pelvis forward so that left knee is underneath our hip. We're here for 3 and for 2 and for 1 more. Awesome. Then we take a big inhale. On our exhale, we fold forward, plant those hands, step back into plank. Take yourself through that chaturanga. We lower halfway. Then we lift that left leg high, taking time in our 3-legged dog. Look at your hands. Bring that left leg all the way through. We come into low lunge or high lunge on the other side, pardon me. Sweep those arms overhead. Big inhale, actively reach those arms up, and then exhale, hands through heart center. Tilt that pelvis forward. We're here for 3 and for 2 and for 1. Big inhale here. Exhale, fold forward. This time, step your back leg forward. Exhale into this forward fold. We're going to take 1 inhale here. On our exhale, we find that halfway lift. And then forward fold, then root to rise, which means flat back, long arms. And we sweep our arms as we stand up tall, bring them overhead, and then exhale through heart center. We're going to come into our chair pose here. We're going to keep our feet together. If you prefer them slightly parted, they can be. Just don't have them too far apart. We want to be about a fist distance apart for our chair pose. Like I said, I prefer my feet together, so I bring my feet together. I stand up nice and tall. Belly button's pulled in. We're bracing our core. Big inhale here. Exhale, reach those arms overhead. Sit your hips back. We're going to hold our chair pose here. 3 more breaths. And 1 more breath. Bring your hands to heart center and sink deeper into this pose. Just a little bit. 3 more breaths. 1 more breath. And then come up tall. Bring those arms long over your head. Big inhale here. And then exhale. We swan dive to that forward fold. Big inhale. Exhale. Plant your hands and hop or step back into that plank. Find that plank. Once you're there, we take ourselves through chaturanga. We lower halfway. Let's take a couple moments here in our downward dog. One more breath here. And then we're going to come back to that right leg. We're coming to warrior two. So we lift that right leg, bring it all the way to the front of our mat. Bend into that front knee. Pivot on that back foot so we have heel to arch alignment. And then cartwheel those arms up. Bending deeper into that front knee, gazes over that right finger, and we're actively reaching those arms. We're pulling our abdominals in. 2 more breaths. And then right arm comes up, left arm comes back. 1 round of breath here. And then we come forward, left arm to left thigh. Right arm to right thigh, pardon me, left arm comes over. We inhale for 1 round of breath. And then we come back to that warrior two. Get deeper into that front knee just for 2 more breaths. And then we come tall, we pivot, and we step forward. Take 2 rounds of breath here. And we'll come through another flow. So big inhale, sweep those arms up. Exhale, fold yourself forward. Big inhale here. Exhale, halfway lift. Inhale here, exhale, forward fold. Plant those hands and hop or step back into that plank. Find your chaturanga here. moving with your breath. And then shift your hips up and back. Taking a moment here, so 2 breaths in downward dog. Lift that left leg high. Look at your hands, warrior 2, other side. We're taking our time here. We're bending deeper into this front knee. Once we bend deeper, that right hand comes to right thigh, left arm comes up and over. And we breathe. And then we move forward, left forearm to left thigh, right arm reaches up and over. And then we come back to that warrior 2, we bend deeper into that front knee. And then we cartwheel those hands down and we step forward. Take a forward fold here, drop your head and breathe. 2 more breaths here. We're going to find our chair pose here. So big inhale, exhale, sink those hips back, pull your abdominals in and sweep your arms overhead. We're going to get a little bit deeper and then hold it here for 3 breaths. So pull your abdominals in and reach those arms up. 1 more breath. And then exhale, forward fold. Step or hop back into that plank. And then press back into that downward dog. We're going to come to our plank downward dog toe touch. So shift that weight back forward into your downward dog. And then as your hips come up, your right hand reaches for those left toes. And then back to center. And we're up. And we reach for that opposite foot. 2 more times. And then make it even from left to right, finishing up your left and right foot. Come back to plank. And then press back to downward dog. We're going to lift our right leg high. We're going to come back to that high lunge. So bring that right leg all the way through. Keep that knee over the ankle. Sweep those arms overhead. Big inhale, reach those arms. Then exhale, hands to heart center. Start to tilt that pelvis forward. Bringing that left knee in line with your left hip. And we're down for 5 this time. 3 more. Inhale and exhale. 2 more. And 1 more. And we'll step forward. Come into that chair pose. Sink your hips back. We're here for 3 breaths. 1 more breath. And then forward fold and hop or step back into that plank. Once you're in your plank, we will just come back to our downward dog. Coming to our lunge on the other side. That left leg comes high. We look at our hands, bring it all the way through. Length through our back leg. Knee over ankle. Sweep those arms up. Big inhale, reach those arms. Big exhale, hands to heart center. We're here for 5. Tilt that pelvis forward. 5. 2 more. And 1 more. And we'll step forward into that chair pose. So step, stand nice and tall. Inhale, exhale, reach those arms up overhead. Big inhale again, and then exhale, sink back. 1 more breath. And then exhale, forward fold. And then we step back into our plank. And from here, we just lower all the way down. Untuck those toes. And then bring those arms long by our side, palms facing up. Our neck is long and our face is hovering over the mat. So my nose is touching the mat. We're going to come into some back exercises here. So pull your abdominals in. Inhale and then exhale. Lift your shoulders and your head away. Press those arms actively behind you, squeezing those shoulder blades. 1 round of breath here. And lower. Let's do 2 more. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, press up. 1 round of breath. And lower. 1 more time. Inhale here. Exhale, press up. 1 round of breath. Lower back down. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Tuck your toes. Press yourself up and back. We're coming to that child's pose. Big knees, so wide knees. Big toes touch. Sink your hips back. Walk your hands forward and drop your forehead. Two more breaths here. Then we'll take our hands by our head, press ourselves up, bring our knees into center. Cross those ankles over each other. Sit your hips behind them. Bring those legs forward. Once you're here, you can keep those knees bent. Sit up nice and tall and roll yourself down to the mat. Once you're down on the mat, start to open up your knees as you bring the soles of your feet together. The closer your feet are to you, the more you'll feel the stretch. The farther away they are, the less you'll feel it. So just play with that. See what feels best. Bring your hands to your belly and take 5 breaths here. And one more breath here. And then we can take our hands and bring those knees into center. We're going to cross that right leg over the left. So my right ankle is crossed over my left leg. I can lift my head and chest up as I bring my knees into my chest and release my hands behind my thigh. And you can stay right here if that feels good for you, or maybe drop your neck down. Take 3 breaths here. Then let go of your thighs, drop that left leg, cross your right leg over your left, and then let them fall over to the left side. Right arm is long and my gaze is over my right arm. Take 4 breaths here. Come back to center and cross that right leg. That left ankle crosses over that right knee. Lift your head and chest up and bring those knees into your chest. Interlace your hands behind your thighs and then drop your head to the mat. Let go of your hands, or interlace, let your fingers go. Drop your foot to the mat. Cross your left leg over your right. Drop those knees over to the right. Left arm is long and gaze over that left arm. And come back to center. Uncross your legs. Bring your knees into your chest. Roll out your ankles one way. And then roll them out the other way. And then bring one leg long on the mat. And then bring the other leg long on the mat. Coming into Shavasana. Any breaths that don't serve you in this moment, just let them go. Bringing awareness to how you feel. Bringing awareness to your breath. And taking time here to be in the present. You can bend one knee and then the other. Taking 2 breaths here, deepening your breath. And then bending your right elbow, turning onto your right side and supporting your head with your right arm. Take 2 breaths here. And then press yourself away, coming to a comfortable seated position. Sitting up nice and tall. We're going to take 2 breaths together. We're going to use our arms. So we're going to sweep those arms overhead. Big inhale. And then exhale, turn those palms down and exhale it all out. One more time. Turn those palms up. Big inhale. And then big exhale. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you feel energized and ready for whatever your day holds, and I hope you have a great day. See you soon.